Madhava Kunja Bihar Gopi Jana Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Murlidhar Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Murlidhar Shri Radhe Jaya Gaura Chandra 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so today we're going to do 3 verses from a very, very nice, interesting chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam on the pastime of lifting of Govardhan mountain by Krishna. So it's Canto 10, Chapter 24, verses 28 to 30. So we just go through the verses first. So this is verse 28. Anyebhyaschashva chandala patitebhyo yatharhata yavasam cha gavam datva giraye diyatam balihi. Translation and purport by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. After giving appropriate food to everyone else, including such fallen souls, such as dogs and dog eaters, you should give grass to the cows and then present your respectful offerings to Govardhan Hill. Verse 29. Swalankrita bhuktvavantaha swa anulipta suvasanaha vasasaha pradakshinam cha kuruta goviparnala parvatam. Translation: after everyone has eaten to his satisfaction, you should all dress and decorate yourselves handsomely. Smear your bodies with sandalwood paste, and then circumambulate the cows, the Brahmins, the sacrificial fires, and Govardhan Hill. Purport: Lord Krishna wanted all the human beings and even the animals to eat nice Bhagavad Prasadam, sanctified foods offered to the Lord. To enthuse his relatives with a festive mood, he requested them to dress beautifully with fine clothes and ornaments, and to refresh their bodies with luxurious sandalwood paste. The essential activity, however, was the circumambulation of the holy Brahmanas, cows, sacrificial fires, and especially Govardhan Hill. Verse 30. Etan mama matam tata kriyatam yadi rochate ayam go brahmanadrinam mahyam cha daito makhaha. This is my idea, O father, and you may carry it out if it appeals to you. Such a sacrifice would be very dear to the cows, the Brahmins, and Govardhan Hill, and also to me. Purport. Whatever is pleasing to the Brahmins, the cows, and the Supreme Lord himself is auspicious and beneficial for the entire world. Spiritually blind modern people do not understand this and instead adopt a scientific approach to life that is rapidly destroying the entire earth. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuva Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtai Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarini. So I seek the blessings of all the assembled devotees here, especially His Grace Adi Purush Prabhu. He's one of our inspirations here about Bhagavad Prasad, which is going to be spoken of today, because he's distributing so much of prasad to all the people who really need it today to purify themselves physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, in all aspects. So I seek his blessings and blessings of all the devotees assembled here, online, offline. So when I was reading this, this whole chapter for preparing for the class, I remembered the past time where Yudhishthir Maharaj was asking about several kinds of dharmas that you have that are required to be performed to Bhishma Dev while he was on his bed of arrows. When he was about to depart from this world, he wanted to get as much knowledge as he could from Bhishma Dev. And many dharmas were discussed. Bhishma Dev said, okay, this is the dharma of a king, the dharma of Stri dharma, then several different types of dharmas. What are the different, as per the varna and the ashram, what are the different dharmas, etc., etc. Many things were discussed. And finally, at the end, Bhishma Dev said that, I only stop asking you all these questions. I just want to think about Krishna and his pastimes. No other dharmas. That is the paro dharma. But Yudhishthir Maharaj said that there's this one question I want to ask you. This is the last question. And in that, actually, he asked, this is actually the crux, the main question that he asked. And he said, who's that greatest person whom I should worship amongst everyone? Whom we as all people, we should praise, whom we should worship? What is the highest dharma? Whose name should we all chant so we all can be liberated? It's actually different questions, but he asked it in the form of one question. I just separated it in different parts. And when Bhishma Dev heard this, he was very happy, because he said, this is the question that I've been waiting for. Because this question is about paro dharma. It leaves aside all other dharmas and just speaks only and only about Krishna. And he was in a very difficult position, but he was because there are arrows pierced through all. There was not even a single pore of his body that was left without any arrow. But he found his greatest happiness, his greatest satisfaction, even at that point, in glorifying Krishna, because he said Krishna is the one whom you should worship. The highest dharma is developing your love and devotion towards Krishna. It is Krishna's name who should be chanted. He should be praised. He should be glorified. And if you see, this whole pastime of Govardhan Leela is about this. It is about taking shelter of Krishna. It is, in one sense, the main teaching is Sarva Dharman Parityaja. I mean, even if you look at the whole thing, a little boy, he comes and he tells his father that, oh, stop this ritual, stop this ceremony. And apparently it seems like he's a little boy, but he's Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's so charming, he's so sweet, he's so lovable, and he's speaking, in one sense, the highest truth in a very, apparently it may seem like in a very atheistic, philosophical way, but he's speaking the truth about, yes, worshipping Govardhan, who's none other than one of his own expansions. And they leave the Indra Puja, they do everything as per what he desires. And when they get into trouble because of the floods caused by Indra, who do they run to? They run to Krishna, knowing him to be the only shelter. From end to end, this whole pastime is about, as all the other pastimes are, it is about Sarva Dharman Parityaja, surrendering to the lotus feet of Krishna again and again. So this is, and they didn't even try to pacify Indra or anyone later. They just like, okay, Indra might be angry or something. Okay, fine, that's okay. But then Krishna, you are there to help us. Please, we are your servants. These cows are your servants. The cows are dear to you. And if you want, you can even save us, because we are trying to serve you and the cows. That is all the mood of the Vrajavasis was. Their mood was always that of service. And that is why this pastime is very instructive and very, very nice. Because why is this material world created by Krishna? This material world has been created by Krishna so that we can ultimately go back to him. Another very important aspect that comes out through this verse is that, through these verses that we are discussing today, is that Krishna is talking about worshipping cows. He's talking about worshipping apparently a mountain, but a mountain which is very revered, which is an eternal associate. And yes, we have the association of Govardhan, of Yamuna, of Vrindavan, thanks to Radharani. Today is Mother's Day, so I'll surely want to thank our greatest mother, Radharani. It's because of her grace that she said that I'm not going to come with you, Krishna, unless there is Govardhan, unless there's Yamuna, unless there's Vrindavan on Bhoma Vrindavan, unless in the Bhoma planet. And Krishna, yes, he's like, yes, they're already there because I know you like them. So thank you, Radharani, for giving us Govardhan. So coming back to the verses, it's very interesting that Krishna is telling that we should worship cows, mountains, and Brahmanas, because from Krishna's point of view, life means that all the living beings have to cooperate and work together, unlike the modern world, which teaches you to be largely independent. That yes, you are the king, you're solo, everything is meant for you, you are the center of the world, everything should be basically at your call and beckon. You can exploit all the animals, you need to be you need to be at the top, work hard, make money, I, my, mine. That is it. This is a dangerous culture that the modern materialistic society imposes on human beings. And in one sense, because of this, we have lost our connection with Mother Earth, with mountains, with nature, with other living entities who are supplying so many things to us. It's not just human beings, consider other human beings who are helping you out. The clothes that we're wearing today is because a tailor has stitched them. The food we are eating today is because a farmer has toiled, has worked hard in the fields to grow those plants, to grow those crops and give them to us. We're getting water today at our houses, at the temple, everywhere, wherever we go, because yes, there's someone who's working at the water supply department and, making sure that yes, everything is okay. We're getting electricity because there are people working in those departments. We are indebted to all the people as they are indebted also to us, because yes, in some way we are also directly, indirectly serving them. And that is how this whole concept of connected with each other is there. Connectedness is there between all the jivas. Plants give us oxygen. We in turn give them carbon dioxide. Cows give us milk, and in turn we are supposed to take care of them. There is so much of interdependency between each and every living entity with the other. And ultimately, we are all dependent on the grand mercy of Krishna. So it is a really big misconception to think that we are ever independent at any point of time. And it's because of having this concept, this notion that we're independent, and that, that causes a kind of like a hollowness and emptiness within us. And that is why we have so many cases of depression and suicide nowadays, because we are not showing our gratitude. We are not performing our duty towards others, to our parents, to our ancestors, to other living entities. Because at the end of the day, we all are connected to each other. And unless and until we act on that level of connection with each other, we're always going to feel this lacking within us. All these things have been given to us by Krishna, and all the jivas are expected to go back to Godhead and be with Krishna. That is just how Krishna wants it to be. And we have to try our best to be the good children of Krishna. Krishna has given me all these things, I have to give it back to Krishna. That's also what Krishna is saying. That yes, Govardhan gives us everything. Govardhan gives us grass, Govardhan gives us herbs, plants, everything we have to give back to Govardhan. And the reason why we're not able to see such a huge connection that is so deep there, between all the jivas in this world, is because of our false ego. Because we're not fearing God anymore. We have lost our purity. We have lost our simplicity. Everyone wants to just think that they are the bigger, the mightier. They are the ones who want more followers. There's this story of a rat who was very fearful of the cat, and he goes to a sage and he asks him, prays to him that, yes, please, I'm afraid of the cat constantly behind me. So the sage turns him into a cat. And the cat is happy for some days, the cat who was the rat earlier. And then after some days, the cat comes to the sage and he says that I'm not afraid of the rat anymore, but I'm afraid of the dogs now. So the sage is like, what do you want me to do? And the cat is like, turn me into a dog. Then I won't be afraid of dogs. I'll be equal to them. So the sage is like, okay, I'm going to turn you into a dog. And he turns him into a dog. All this happening with his mystic powers. And then after some days, the dog comes back to the sage and he's like, see, I know I'm not afraid of the rat. I'm not afraid of the cat. I'm not afraid of anyone. But there is still someone who's stronger than me. And that's the tiger. And he's like, so what do you want me to do? So he's like, make me a tiger. And the sage is like, okay. He makes him into a tiger. And then the tiger's looking at the sage. And he's looking at him with hungry eyes. He's opening his mouth, and the sage is like, what? I made you into a tiger and now you want to eat me? And the tiger's just growling. And he's like, back again, become a rat again. And he becomes a rat again. It might seem like a very funny story, but it's actually a very, very instructive story. We're never going to be happy no matter with how much of a power, prestige, or whatever we have. In fact, this whole pastime of Govardhan Hill was done by Krishna to curb the pride of Indra. Yes, it's a different thing that, yes, Krishna wanted to spend on a very internal mood, very internal reason of the whole pastime was that Krishna wanted to spend a whole full 7 days and 7 nights with all the Vrajvasis without any break, without any, night pastime, okay, where he's only with certain sets of people, or, in the day when he's only with a certain set of his devotees. He wanted them to be together at all time, all the rasas at the same time under one big Govardhan mountain. That's why he did it. But at the same time, one of his main reasons was also to curb the pride of Indra. And just see how much this pride, this false ego can consume us, in one sense. Yes, we all need some encouragement, some appreciation from time to time, but that's different from wanting more glory, more prestige, for our sense gratification. And pride is a very funny thing. It takes on so many forms, and nowadays it takes the form of, we want some validation, that we seek, many times through social media, especially nowadays. Even amongst devotees, look how many books I distributed. Look what I did. Look, this is how I dressed. This is how I did this. This is how I'm doing whatever. So many services I'm doing. The list goes on and on. And yes, some people argue that yes, we're trying to spread the message of Krishna through social media, and that's really good. If that is the real reason and intention, that's very good. Because if that is not the intention, if the intention is something else other than pleasing Krishna and getting people closer to Krishna, even a little bit, oh, come on, just a little bit, a few likes for myself. What's going to go wrong in that? And bang, before you know it, you've got all the pride, all the prestige you wanted, but you're not going to get Krishna. It becomes dangerous when we start using spiritual life, for fulfilling our need for sense gratification, for our need for sense gratification, for fulfilling our own false ego. Because what is it that we have to even be proud about? Is there anything that we have to be proud about? All the compassion, all the mercy that you feel that you are giving, it's not you giving. It's coming through you, not from you. It's coming all from Krishna. All your talent, all your intellect, all beauty, all knowledge, all renunciation, everything comes from Krishna. Might be coming through you. You might be one of the instruments. And that is good if you can use it for Krishna's pleasure, for the devotee's pleasure. But not be under the illusion that it's coming from you. It's coming, the ultimate source of everything is Krishna. And if we think otherwise, it's actually very sad. Because we're letting the mini Indras within us thinking that, yes, we are great. Indra thought he was great. And Krishna knew that, yes, Indra had like a huge mountain of pride. And that mountain of pride is very difficult to break. And that's why he did this whole pastime. Because, hey, come on, this puja of Indra had been going on for many years before, but Krishna had never stopped it. It had been going on for many millenniums before, but Krishna had never stopped it because at that time, Indra was maybe not proud. But now Indra had become proud, and Krishna wanted to stop his puja just to curb his pride. Indra is worthy of worship because of his desire. He's one of the agents of Krishna, but now his pride had come to a level that he felt he deserved everything. And that is why, because of this pride, because of this false ego, we have lost our connection, just like how Indra lost his connection with Krishna for some time. He lost his compassion, he became completely deluded to the extent that just because of his pride, he wanted to drown an entire village of people. For what? Because they just stopped his puja? This is what pride, false ego can do to a person. It's so dangerous. It takes a lot of effort to actually catch yourself when you are under the influence of false ego and pride. And it's a very, very painful experience, no doubt. Nobody wants to admit that they're proud and they're full of ego, especially maybe if you're a practicing devotee. But nonetheless, it's something that we have to do. In fact, we have to try to follow in the footsteps of the Vrajvasis, who always surrendered at the lotus feet of Krishna. That is why they never had any pride in them. Their pride was in being a follower of Krishna, in being a follower of other devotees who are following Krishna. Because they knew that only Krishna is great. And that's what we have to do. In verse 30, Krishna mentions, do all these things. Yes, worship the cows, worship the Brahmins, circumambulate Govardhan, because this will please them. And yes, it will also please me. So consider it. Krishna is telling us what are the things that's going to please him. So it behooves us to do the things that pleases him. And one of the things he wants us to do is give up our pride, give up our illusion that we are one master and we own everything. No, the real owner, the real master is only Krishna and his pure devotees and representatives who are trying to serve him in the mood of, yes, they might be in a leadership position, but they're only trying to serve Krishna. So once we get this pride, this I thing out of the center, then we can understand our connection with other jivas, with other living entities, with other human beings, and develop good, long-lasting relationships with them. It's only this I that causes all the problem. Another very nice thing, that these verses mention is that it's mentioned in the purport to verse 29. Yes, it's in which it is said that yes, Krishna asked the people, to dress up nicely and everything. But the most important thing was the circumambulation of Govardhan, circumambulation and worship of the cows. And it's important for us to understand it. Yes, all this might look ritualistic, but we have to understand the reason behind why we do all these rituals or worship. Why do we apparently worship, like, for example, we have a worshipable Tulsi Devi over here. She looks like a plant, but she is such a dear devotee of Krishna. If someone sees that, we're worshiping a plant, we're worshiping stone or something of that, so it looks like stone to them, but for us, it's a form of Krishna. So this knowledge has to be given to them. That yes, these are not paganistic views as such, It's not that we are trying to see the divine in them. These are forms of divine who have come from the spiritual world to the material world for our benefit. Because internally, yes, they are fully spiritual and potent to give us bhakti, to give us worship to Krishna. And yes, we have, Krishna gave all these rules, regulations, everything, on how to perform this festival, everything, to make it important. But the thing is that we have to have this mood of happiness and thrill of worshiping Krishna every day, whenever we worship Krishna, whenever we chant the holy name. The mood is always important. Even though it may be an ordinary day, it's not necessarily it has to be a festival day or something, but the fact that, yes, I'm worshiping Krishna, that in itself should give us thrills. If we're not experiencing this thrill, it's because maybe we're not doing our sadhana properly. It's because maybe we're not chanting sincerely enough. It's maybe because we're not diving deep into Shravanam, Kirtanam. It's maybe because we're not diving into reading Srila Prabhupada's books more sincerely and with a more reflective mood. Yes, festival days are important, but within us, we have to have this thrill of worshiping Krishna every day. The most important thing is being conscious of Krishna always. If we're not experiencing joy even in our daily lives, it is largely because of offenses that we make to devotees, to Krishna. It's also because we're not performing our sadhana properly. As I say, Kleshagni. Kleshagni is one of the results of bhakti. Kleshagni means all my material miseries have been removed. But even after doing all puja, all worship of everything, if you're not peaceful, if you're not happy, then it's kind of a wake-up call that we have to go more deep in our bhakti. And it's important also to understand that, yes, these rituals are not meant for show or something. It is meant to give us a deeper connection to Krishna, to his various forms, to see him in everything that we do. So I'll conclude my class now. But before I conclude, I'll just like to say that, yes, this is the culture. This is the kind of festival mood that Krishna always wants us to have, not just during Govardhan Puja, other festivals. It is something that we're supposed to have at each and every time. And we're supposed to protect largely the Brahminical culture, because the Brahmins are the ones, who give us knowledge, who give us knowledge about the Vedas. We are supposed to protect the cows. We are supposed to protect the culture that gives us this knowledge. we are supposed to always remember that Krishna is the center of everything. Even if we have culture, we have Vedas, we have cows. If we don't have Krishna, none of these make sense. So yes, the core, the crux of everything is always going to be Krishna. Chase after Krishna. Run after Krishna, not behind sense gratification. And that's why Krishna sends acharyas like Srila Prabhupada in our lives to show us how we are supposed to chase after Krishna. Krishna sends devotees like Adipurush Prabhu, who shows us, yes, how even through prasadam distribution, it looks like such a simple thing. We're just giving food, but no. We are not only are we chasing after Krishna, we're also through prasadam distribution, we're also telling others to chase after Krishna, or just by having nice, wonderful, sanctified food, which is what this whole festival is about. So thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Adipurush Prabhu, for inspiring us always. And thank you to all the devotees. I'll open the class, the session now for any questions, comments, corrections, reflections. Oh, yes. Yes, Angel.
This was a great class, but I do have one question. They talk about ego and, everybody's all children of Krishna. But when I read some of the readings, there's an implication that the Sudras are somehow lower down. Now, isn't that a form of ego, that the Brahmins are in charge? And these people they're not that intelligent, so they do the menial work. That's what I seem to get out of these readings. It seems to imply that, and that would seem to be ego, what you just were speaking against.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very nice question. It might seem that we're trying to put someone down by saying that, okay, he's a Shudra or she's a Shudra, and I'm a Brahmin, and like I'm the one who's more intelligent over here. The thing is that this is largely because of the caste system that has evolved in more, not in recent times, but with the degradation, with the passage of time, things always degrade. Especially Kali Yuga is a time where even the most purest things can be seen in a very degraded way, or can be put forward in a very degraded way. In the earlier ages, when a person was a Shudra, a person is divided into Varna and Ashram because of the activity they do and because of the qualities they have. Guna is the qualities they have, and Karma, the activities that they do. It is obvious that, yes, there will be some people in this world who are more intellectual. There are some people in this world who are by nature more chivalrous, who have the fighting spirit. So there will be Kshatriyas. There will be some people who are more mercantile minded, they're more business minded. And there will be some people who might not be able to do any of these things, but they're good at, manual labor. So yes, this is a division, and we can't, and a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya, none of these can live without the services of a Shudra. And this is what is the whole connectedness of all the jivas. This is what I was also mentioning, that yes, all these jivas are connected. But with the passage of time, this whole thing of ego comes in such a perverted way that, we want to take everything for us to prove that we are great, and we want to suppress someone who is apparently less intellectual or less strong than us. This is a matter of oppression, and this comes again because of pride. The main reason why this comes in because of false ego and pride, because I want to be the center, I want to be great, I want to be the stronger person, so I'm going to kind of like degenerate another person so much, downgrade another person so much that they will always be under my control. That was not how it originally was. The original system of Varnashram was taking care of each other. It was about mutually helping each other. The Shudras in the earlier times never considered themselves as downtrodden or never felt that they were exploited, because they were taken care of by their masters very nicely. They were given proper food, proper clothing, as per their needs. If they had children who needed help, they were given help. In fact, there are there are many sages and many ashrams in the earlier days where even a Shudra, if they were like considered strong and good enough, they were given, if they had qualities of a Brahmana, then yes, then they were allowed to study the Vedas also. That was how the original Varnashram system is supposed to be. It's supposed to be based on guna and karma. But yes, with time, it's been exploited, and that's the caste system right now is not originally what Krishna had wanted it to be. It's not based on birth. It's based on, as I mentioned, on your work and qualities. So what has happened now is just, again, a manifestation of false ego, nothing else. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Adi. Oops.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful question, wonderful answer. Krishna loves everybody. And recognizing what kind of way that somebody can show their love. A person might show their love by this kind of a talent, that kind of talent, but everybody's able to contribute. And if we leave love out of the picture, what we've got is like an ant colony. You see a colony of ants, everybody's running around. There's no love. It's just a mechanical arrangement. I do this, you do that. I do this, you do that. So Krishna explains, you know that verse, right? That beyond this world that we see, beyond this quality of life that we see in this world, there's another world. There's another dimension of existence, and it's different there. Because I was wondering, why do these guys listen to Krishna and he's telling them, don't do this, do that? Because they see Krishna loves them. We describe Krishna's dhoti and Krishna's earrings and all these different things, but the main thing is, just like Prabhupada came here, and what we see is, Srila Prabhupada loves us. He said, I love you means I love you for you, not what I can get from you. And when somebody loves you like that, like they saw Krishna loves them so much, they just wanted, he said, worship the cows, worship the hill, but they did it like Mataji was explaining, like the verse explained, out of love for Krishna, to please Krishna. So the verse, we've been at a wedding recently, they quoted the verse, even if you can speak with the tongues of men and angels, even if you can heal the sick, even if you can convert the multitude, even if you can raise the dead, if it's done without love, it's useless without love for Krishna. So the quality of life in the material world is there's no love here, Prabhupada said. There's no pure love. It's basically business. I give this, I expect that. If I don't get that, I don't give this. And that's kind of weird, but love means just selfless, means caring. People who might be inclined to the quality of work that Shudras take part in, they do that. And they do that because they see that the other members of society love them, and they want to reciprocate with that love. And speaking of love, here's Akesh Babu. Loving heart. Well, go to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Jamuna.
Yes. Yes, Jamunaji.
Hare Krishna, what a wonderful class. So many wonderful points today. So thank you so much. But this, I just want to say something about this last point that was being spoken about. There's something that my Guru Dev always says. He is always very precise when he sets up get-togethers and functions and such like this. And he always says, when people come together, well, there's two things. He says, when people come together, become a community, they stop being a crowd, because that's the difference between a crowd and a community. Both are large groups of people, but crowds are always just out for me, me, me. Community is for we to come together. And then the other thing that I was thinking about when Adi just spoke is like, when we have something that's well run, like the festivals or something like that, everyone can feel free that they're taken care of. Like we come in, there's somebody there to greet you, and then they can be free to be vulnerable. And so I was just really struck with that point. That's the reason we try to do a well-run festival or a well-run organization, is that people aren't like running around and thinking they have to do stuff. They just come in, everyone's here, everyone's supporting you, so you can just come and be. So I was just really reminded that. And again, such a beautiful class. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Yes, that's
Jamuna,
what we always have.
okay, Rupesh,
Yes.
come on. Rupesh.
Yes, Rupesh. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Nandini Mataji, beautiful class.
Thank you.
The time and the sage. That was quite interesting. And
A little louder, Rupesh.
Loud.
Prabhu. A little louder, please.
the sage sympathized with the rat, and the sage sympathized with the rat, and the rat was about to eat it. Sorry, the tiger was about to eat it. So too much sympathy sometimes, too much power causes enough grievance for the entire world. Anyways, sometimes sympathy is also dangerous. So that being said, your beautiful story about little Indras is also quite interesting, because the little Indras in ourselves, the little egos that we tend to rear as little babies, because little babies are cute. So we think these little Indras within us, the little egos within us, we tender them, and we, okay, it's just little, it's nobody has identified. So it's still little. Nobody says us, because it's not the big Indra who is swamping the entire village. So we really don't kind of care much about them. We kind of tend them and care them as if they are cows. Okay. So that being said, what is the best way to self-identify, analyze ourselves, to find these little Indras and sort them out, so they are not those poisonous, what you call the vines, the poison ivies at a later point of time, because nobody else can know that, right, other than ourselves, unless we carefully identify them. So how do we do that, Nandini Mataji? Anything in the scriptural conjunction that guides us to that? Hare Krishna.
There is one short way in which we can find this out, and that is through the association of devotees. It's largely through association with senior devotees, like-minded devotees, juniors, all types of devotees, that we can find out and actually even catch ourselves sometimes when we are starting to become proud. It's also important that we have good association, especially with more advanced, more senior devotees who have had experience of this in their past, maybe in their earlier years, and learn from their experiences. That is the only way in which you can do it, apart from being conscious at your own level at every time. This can be quite a strain, actually, catching, trying to see again and again where is this whole pride thing coming up in me. It's difficult trying to catch it, because many times we always have this way, as you said, we'll always have some or the other reason in our mind that, oh, I'm not being proud, I'm just being practical. That's often the reason that the mind gives you. And it's a very subtle thing. This is how the mind plays games on you. So it is through proper grounding, through, and especially this happens, especially when you're with senior devotees, even with like-minded devotees, when you should have the genuine desire, most importantly, to ask feedback from them time to time, honest feedback, and be sincere also in yourself in wanting to give it up. Because you might have the best association also sometimes. And yet, if you don't have the desire to give up your pride, all that association is going to be of no use. So it's many things. It's your own sincerity, and it's also how much deeply and honestly you can take up the association, the feedback, the values, the lessons that you learn from the experiences of other devotees also in your life, that can help you get rid of not only of pride, but of all the other vices which are stopping us, preventing us from going back to Krishna, from fully surrendering to Krishna. And of course, scriptures will always be there. Scriptures give us often like big examples, Some of these examples might actually seem so exaggerated, like, oh, Indra, he tried to ruin a whole land of Vrindavan just because of his pride. But it all started somewhere with a seed. And we see Indra doing this again and again, he even in the case of in Canto 6, I believe, we see how he disrespected his own guru, Brihaspati. So what? Because of pride. So many examples. You see yourself disrespecting someone, should come to your mind. This is what Indra did. And look what happened to him later. He had to give up his whole kingdom, run around, and he committed offenses after offenses after that. He killed even Vishwarup, who was trying to help him in one sense. So yeah, scriptures will also help you. But yes, we have to be sincere, honest, and ask for feedback from devotees also for this. Yes, William Prabhu. I hope, Rupesh Prabhu, your question was kind of answered. I'm not sure whether we have enough time now. It's already 8:02, but yes, maybe something quick.
William Prabhu.
William Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I can wait for the afterglow.
Okay. He doesn't want to make it quick. It's a profound
Okay.
question. William.
Okay. So it'll be after.
Nandini Radhika, I have a quick question.
Actually, I wanted to share an experience, a reflection of what I felt when you gave class, but I don't know if we have enough time. Hare Krishna.
Maybe after the darshan.
Nandini
Yes.
Radhika, I have
Yes,
a quick one. Can I?
Yes, please.
Sometimes devotees may be a little shy and reluctant to offer a correction. So how do we, guys, please, I'm talking. How do we show them that we are open for corrections? What's our disposition?
I think it has to be largely that overall, if they see that you're genuine and sincere, and we have to be asking them for feedback and genuine feedback, and our mood and their conversations with them from time to time should always be such that, yes, they have this confidence on us that we are open to their feedback. It's a daily thing you have to work on. It can't be a one-shot thing that, okay, I just do this and that's going to be enough for them. You have to work on this daily to build that trust in someone else to give us feedback.
Nice. Thank you, Nandini Radhika.
Yes.
Okay. Turn on your cameras if you can, please, dear devotees. Venetia, thank you. Andrea, William, Amrita Kishori, Didi, Balakrishna Prabhu. Krishna blessed Balakrishna Prabhu with a wonderful, wonderful wife. Thank you, Nandini Radhika. Great class. Nayana Manjari, Kula Pradeepa, Srila Prabhupada. Nice seeing everybody. Shishirada Mulidar Ki Jai. Shigur Chandra Ki Jai. Will you stay with us for the afterglow to take William Prabhu's reflection, Nandini Radhika?
Sure.
Okay. William?
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to say, you mentioned something about depression in your, by the way, wonderful, beautiful class today. You mentioned something today about depression, and I just wanted to share a reflection. Last month it was hard for me to get out of bed.
Just 1 minute.
I can't hear.
Let's give it a few seconds, William G.
Oh, beautiful picture.
So vulnerable, so sincere on this call to William Prabhu.
Yes,
Thank
please,
you,
sorry,
Radhika.
sorry,
Okay.
please continue.
So last month I was finding it difficult to get out of bed. I have, a medical condition, diagnosis of major depression. And I was crying. I was begging Krishna, please, get me out of this, and obviously, wasn't being answered. But then I was like, you know what? Sincerely, I'm going to make a deal with you. If you let me to get up and at least as many rounds as I can chant, you sincerely can see in my heart that I'm going to chant as many rounds as I can. I'm going to do my best. If you can see that I'm sincerely chanting, can you please move me? And the next day I did 6 rounds. So I did 3 rounds. And the next day I did 6 rounds. And it just kept getting higher and higher, the rounds, until I got to 16. I called Adi Purush Prabhu. And I said, Adi, this is what happened. And, Adi's, I just wanted to say, Krishna sees in our heart, and he hears our prayers. And I thank you for giving class today. Just wanted this to reflect. Thank Krishna.
Thank you, William Prabhu. Yeah, we shouldn't take, we chant our rounds every day. We get out of bed. We shouldn't take that for granted. It's all Krishna's mercy that we are able to chant our rounds, that we're able to associate with the devotees, that we're able to take prasadam. It's all Krishna's mercy. Let's not take it for granted. Let's appreciate and value and treasure that and seek more of that. More prasadam, more service, more devotees association.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, would anyone else like to say anything? It's Sunday. We can go over time.
Hare
And it's
Krishna.
Mother's Day.
Nandini Mataji. Sorry, I wasn't able to respond early. So I just wanted to conclude that my question was more, thanks for that devotee Sangha association thought process. My
Mm-hmm.
question was more oriented wherein these seeds that you mentioned. Thanks for mentioning that the seeds of ego, when they are so dormant, that we ourselves, how do we self-identify them? I mean, I understand that devotees definitely help, but unless somebody is like Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, who can identify, yes, this person has these seeds, I doubt how much the devotees along with us, who are mostly at the Madhyama level, not the Uttama or great level, so they might not be able to easily identify and correct us in that sense. So that was the thought behind it. Anyways, but and interestingly enough, these seeds are always there irrespective of which Varnashrama people belong. I mean, it's not just that Brahmanas will have these seeds, whether it's Brahmanas, Shudras, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, everyone will have these seeds dormant in them, the seeds of ego, Ahankara, or whatever. In because everyone has manos, buddhi, ahankar, all these, right? All these senses and all. That being said, how do we kind of identify? But anyways, Mataji, since you mentioned that, good, really, really beautiful story, Mataji. And I want to close out the thought with Happy Mother's Day and thank you to all the beautiful mothers, devotee mothers here and lifetime, and truly blessed for all your beautiful service to us and leading us onto this path of Krishna. Happy Mother's Day and thanks to all the great mothers, devotee mothers. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rupesh Prabhu. I would just like to add that it's not just Uttama Adhikaris. In fact, if you see on a very proper actual level, Uttama Adhikaris are on such a high level that they will feel that everyone is greater than them. You know, they're so humble. So Uttama Adhikaris have to actually come down to a Madhyama level if they actually have to train and guide others. That's the whole concept of a Madhyama Adhikari. So yes, it might seem that, oh, only like a great person can correct us, or, you know, someone who's at that level of, you know, like a Swami or a Guru or something like that can correct us. But if you find, you know, you will, if you're lucky, you will find that there are some nice, mature devotees who have had some good experiences in their life, like tough experiences in their life, and they have come out of it in like with more richer experiences and more, and you know, those experiences have increased their faith in Krishna. It has increased their faith in this whole process of devotional service, despite having failures, weaknesses, setbacks, call it whatever you want. I myself know a lot of devotees who might not be at a Swami or a Guru level, but merely because of their experience, merely because they have also been in the movement for several years, they also are in a position to guide and help others. So we might not always be lucky enough to have a Guru or a Swami correcting us or guiding us, but we should take advantage of such good Madhyama Adhikaris also, because yes, they can also see, they can also guide us, you know, they can also see that, you know, yes, there is some problem in us, you know, we're having pride or something in us, and they can also help us. So we shouldn't like discount the whole Madhyama level just because maybe, okay, they're not at the Uttama level. That wouldn't be fully appropriate, maybe in one sense, to do that. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Nandini Radhika. See, Nandini Radhika does not deviate from our philosophy. She's unflinching. Thank you, Nandini Radhika.
Thank you.
Venetia, William Prabhu, Adi Pulisha Prabhu, Amita Kishori Devi, Domi, Yogeshwari, Bruce, William Prabhu and family, Rupesh Prabhu, Amish Prabhu, Suzanne, Leslie Devi Prabhu. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Krishna is our father, Krishna is our mother, Krishna is our everything. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Have a
Yes,
wonderful day.
for devotees, seek more devotees associations. And that will be granted, and that's it. That's all. That's the means and the goal at the same time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.